Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar, where we get to sit down and talk with interesting professional guitar players and related music industry experts. If you love playing guitar, stick around. You're in the right place. This is Craig Garber. Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar podcast, episode number 25. I want to talk about an interesting article I read the other day, and I was kind of blown away by this. It's called These Are the 10 Highest Paid DJs in the World, and I got this off of Digital Musical News. You could Google it. First of all, let me issue a disclaimer. I know nothing about this marketplace. I'm not into clubs. I'm not into techno music. I'm not into house music. So none of this is my thing. And my frame of reference for DJs is like growing up as a kid listening to FM radio, knowing that these guys probably did not make much money, made loads of appearances, and were required to do a ton of stuff for not a lot of money, but they loved music and they loved turning people on to new music and getting the latest music coming out, and that was their passion for the business. So I'm not going to read all these guys, but some of these names I recognize, and here's what they made. I think it was last year. Calvin Harris, $48.5 million. That's, in case you're wondering, $933,000 a week. Skrillex, $30 million. Steve Aoki, $29.5 million. Diplo, $28.5 million. David Guetta, $25 million. Marshmello, ends with an O, not O-W, in case you're concerned. He made $21 million. And the number 10 on the list, his name is Zedd. And I wonder if that's the same Zedd's Dead from Pulp Fiction, but probably not. Zedd made $19,365,000 a week. And the combined total, just for the top 10 DJs, is $300 million. So, like, basically, I'm scratching my head thinking, how the hell can they make this much money? So I started doing a little digging. And, like, for example, they're talking about the top guy, Calvin Harris. He earned almost $48.5 million. And it says that includes a 7-figure Vegas residency. That 7 figures, that's in the millions. High-paying festival slots and pop charting collaborations with the likes of Pharrell Williams and Katy Perry. So I started doing some digging, and one of the clubs he plays is the Hakkasan nightclub at the MGM Grand. Now, mind you, I've gone to Vegas, and, we never go to nightclubs. Again, that's just not my thing. I listen to more like blues, classic rock, and I have no interest in dancing at all. So it's just not my thing. I'm sure they're pretty cool places to go if you like that. I mean, I have buddies that do that, but it's not for me. Anyway, so here's some figures as far as costs and expenses if you go out to a club. Well, so during the week, to get into the Hakkasan nightclub in the MGM Grand, it's $1,500 for a minimum, like the cheap seats. Like, that's if you go to Madison Square Garden to watch the Knicks, you're sitting in nosebleed section. That's $1,500 minimum for 6 guests, $2,500 minimum for 6 guests on the weekend. Those are the shitty seats, remember. And it's $600 for one bottle, for the low-end bottle, and $17 for a low-end mixed drink. Now, I looked on the menu and I did some more research online. There are drinks there that go for $55,000 for a drink or for a bottle. So here's what I came up with. If you figure the average person is going to spend $700 a night, which I think is conservative, right? I think that's really conservative, because if you figure 6 guests, let's call it, and these are the minimum. So 6 guests on a weekend, $2,500. That means it's $400 each just to get in, right? And with drinks being $600 for a bottle, and again, those are the cheap seats. Is it unreasonable to think they're spending $700 a pop? No, I think it's probably conservative. And I looked up the average number of guests. Okay, I looked up the average number of guests, and they go through the average crowd on a weekend is 7,000 people. So if it's 7,000 people, each spending $700, that's $4.9 million gross for a night. That's correct. $4.9 million gross for a night. Now, let's face it, there's a ton of expenses in running a nightclub. There's probably literally hundreds, if not 1,000 people that are paid on staff to take care of these. You have the expenses of the liquor, the food, the chefs, the waiters, the waitresses, security, and I'm sure the infrastructure for the security, like from the cameras and stuff. You got a bunch of people there. I can't imagine the cost to put one of these clubs together. You know, the plant, they call it accounting, plant, property, and equipment, the hard cost of building the club and technology and all the doohickeys, you know, that's a fortune. But my point is, when you look at a company or a business that's bringing in $5 million basically, conservatively, because this figure could easily double, you know, I'm being conservative, or triple on a night, you could see why now they're paying DJs that much money, and they earn it, because if they're bringing in that many people so as to contribute to $5 million a night, and because people go, they follow certain DJs, you could easily understand it. And just ticket prices alone, non-table tickets, it looks like it's $50 for a female and $70 for a male. So these numbers add up, and they are pretty large. So my point is, I think I'm in the wrong business. I probably should have been a DJ, but who knows? Anyway, if you know anything about this, feel free to let me know, because I'd certainly like more information. I found this very interesting and very curiosity-provoking. Until next time, we'll see you then. Thanks for listening. Go to everyonelovesguitar.com and sign up to get notified of future episodes along with the latest guitar-related updates. And join our community on Facebook at facebook.com/everyonelovesguitar. We hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, subscribe to the Everyone Loves Guitar podcast, and you can do this online at everyonelovesguitar.com or on iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star positive review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher our show ranks, and higher rankings mean we get to continue speaking with cool, interesting guests on our show. We'll see you on the next episode, and until then, keep playing your guitar and have fun making music.